Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com, and I have quite a story for you today. It is a story about failure. It is a story about mistakes, and it is a story that has what I think is a happy ending. So, oh gosh, where to start with this story? Well, if you don't know already, I sell, of course, some courses on Simple Programmer, right? And I've been trying to grow and expand Simple Programmer. So one of the ideas that I had with growing Simple Programmer was moving more into the publishing model. So instead of just my content, I can only make so much content. I can only create so many courses. I can only write so many books. And apparently there's no limit to the number of YouTube videos that I can do. But I can only produce so much stuff, right? So what I was thinking was maybe I can be a publisher and find some other authors that could perhaps produce some technical content on some subjects that I wasn't probably going to produce content on, and specifically technical stuff, because I'm more right now in my life about the soft skills, about personal development. That's the kind of content I produce, and that's the kind of courses I have in mind and that I'll be creating in the future. So I thought this was a pretty good idea, and I still think it is. So I went out there and I was looking for someone to create a JavaScript course for me. And maybe you've seen when I launched this course, it was called JavaScript LaunchPad. And so I found someone actually who was going to create this course, and he sent me an outline of the course that he wanted to create. It looked really good. Okay, and not only did the outline look good, he sent me some video clips and some demos of him recording the course, because I didn't want to have someone record a course that couldn't do a good job of teaching, that wasn't able to record videos. So I went through that. Everything looked good. So I basically commissioned this guy, which I'm not gonna say his name. It'll be apparent why in a little bit here, but I commissioned him to create this course, okay? And so everything looked good. And one of the things I was trying to do with this course, which was a bit of a mistake on my part, was that I was trying to make it so that I was more hands-off. I didn't want to micromanage the process. So if I wanted to scale this up in the publishing model, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing too much for this course. So I actually spent a lot of money. Well, not a whole lot of money, but I hired someone to do the marketing for the course, to go and write the emails and create the sales page and do that kind of in-depth research that we need to market. Like there's actually, if you're launching a product, marketing is really a good portion of it, right? You got to spend a lot of time doing that. So I essentially got this team together, and they're working on the course, and they're working on the course for several months, getting this together. The author's recording the video clips. Finally, he's done, okay? And I took a spot check. See, this is where this is my first mistake. I definitely made a mistake here. I mean, well, maybe my first mistake was not vetting carefully and investigating, and doing all my due diligence, but I spot checked the course, and I looked at a couple of the videos, and they looked good. They sounded okay. I mean, the quality wasn't quite what I wanted, but it seemed like it was okay. It doesn't seem like it was bad. It seemed like it was definitely a shippable product. And so we launched the course. Okay, and the course was pretty successful launch. We did pretty well selling the course, okay? And immediately, though, I started getting some emails from customers complaining about the quality level of the course. So I was like, oh, crap, what has happened here, right? So I went and I looked at the course myself and reviewed the whole course, and I was pretty disappointed. The audio was pretty bad. The content itself was good. Like, it was good content, but it just wasn't delivered in a very powerful way, and it felt like it was missing a few things, and then the video quality was not so good. So it just was not edited very well. It just was not a very high quality product. Not something that I really wanted to put my name on, but it was kind of too late because I already launched this thing. So that was my mistake. Huge mistake I made on my part. Just my plain stupidity of not thinking about these things and not doing the full check, right? Not doing the due diligence, just spot checking it. So yeah, I made a big blubber there. So I thought, okay, well, we can fix this. So I got on Skype and got on a call with the author, And I explained to him what was wrong and what we needed to do to fix it. I needed him to re-edit it and fix the audio and fix some of the video there. And so we went through and we made a list of all the things. Everything looked like it was going well. And then I thought, okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do an intro. So I did a video intro for the course, explaining it a little bit better, kind of saying like, look, here it starts off a little slow, but it builds on these concepts, and here's the overall view. Because when I watched the entire course, I understood where it was going. It just, the teaching, there was something a little bit off. And I wasn't sure quite what, but you'll figure it out in a minute here. This should have been a warning sign. Again, another mistake that I made. So we got this thing, figured out. The author re-edits the course, and he did a pretty good job, right? But I'm listening to the redone course, and there's still things that just aren't quite right. I had talked about taking the white space out, and cutting that out and shortening it down so there wasn't these big dead spaces. And he did, but he did it too short, and it still wasn't quite there. So I was trying to figure out what to do. So I'm sitting there thinking about, should I pull the course? Should I change the course? Should I re-record the course myself? Because I could do that and use the content. And then I get this email. I get this email from a gentleman named Tony that basically says, hey, you stole my course and copied it and are selling it. Can you please take it down immediately? Right, this is my JavaScript course, and he did it in a very nice way, by the way. Like, I mean, I'm not giving you the full email, but he basically said, I think you're probably not aware of this, that you didn't realize that the author who wrote that course copied my stuff, because, why would you do that? You wouldn't, you've got a big YouTube channel and audience and legitimate business. You wouldn't do that. I can't imagine you did this on purpose. So, my immediate reaction was denial and unbelief, right? I thought, no way. First of all, okay, this is not possible. I guess denial and unbelief are the same thing, but it was shocking, right? But I get stuff like this from every once in a while. So I was like, no, there's no way, because I know the author who did the course for me, and I've talked to him on Skype, and I know his voice, and I know he recorded the course because I can hear his voice in it, right? Obviously, he recorded this course, so there's no way this is possible. There's no way he copied this course. Well, I happen to have the transcripts from the course, from the JavaScript course, okay, that I released, and Tony, he was generous enough to send me a link to his course to say, look, here, you can look at it and see that it is the same. So I looked at the outline, at first, and I compared them, and they looked pretty similar, but I thought, okay, well, maybe he copied the outline or something like that, or, it's similar topics or something like that. And, but I said, okay, well, let me take one of the modules in there. So I picked kind of a module at random from Tony's course, the one that he recorded, and I pulled up the transcripts from the course that I had. These transcripts that I paid for, right? That I put a lot of money into producing. Like, being a publisher, it requires a lot of effort and money, like, to get all this stuff done. So I actually put a lot of money, paid a lot of people to do work on this. So I had these transcripts that I paid for a lot of money, actually, for a course like this. And I pulled it up, and I'm going through Tony's course, and it is almost word for word the same. I kid you not. I was like, oh my God. Can you believe? So this guy copied this guy's course, right? Re-recorded it. He used the same slides. And when I looked at it, Tony had said, oh, you can even see on the sales page that in the sample code, it says Tony. And it does. So, oh gosh, I felt like an ass. I felt like an idiot. It was totally my mistake. My problem, 100%. I accept full responsibility for this, because I should have checked this shit out. I did not do my due diligence. Now, I don't know how I could have known that he copied the course, but there were red flags. I should have vetted this. I should have been more in control of the process, right? I totally screwed this up. So this was a shocker for me, right? So I'm like, okay, so immediately, my initial reaction is, oh crap, but I've sort of trained myself, and I know this is going to sound a little bit difficult to believe, but I immediately thought, right after that, I thought, okay, how can I turn this around and make this good, right? Because, I firmly believe in life that when you have adversity, when you have bad situations, negative situations, and this, believe me, this is a negative situation. Let me tell you why this is a negative situation, or it appears to be one, is because I sold a bunch of this course, okay? This is someone else's material. I paid a bunch of people, so I've got to basically, at this point, I'm looking at refunding all the money from the course, plus I'm out everything that I paid everyone else for the course, and I have a lot of egg on my face. I look like a total ass copying someone's course, right? I mean, this is where what it comes down to, you know. So. But I immediately thought, okay, how can I turn this around? How can I make this good, right? So I immediately emailed Tony and I was like, look, give me a call, bro. Give me a call. Let's talk about this. And Tony is an awesome guy. I have to tell you, I have to take a minute to say that Tony, he is just one of those guys that he is very calm and rational and totally understanding. And he took it very well. I mean, when I got on the phone with him, he was like, yeah, I figured you didn't know anything about it, you know. And he actually even apologized for the situation that was happening to me. I was like, dude, you don't need to apologize. This is totally my fault. I screwed up here. I stole your material. I didn't mean to, but I did. Right, and I sold it. Like, this is horrible, right? I've done you wrong, right? And so, but I immediately thought, okay, how can I turn this around? How can I make this a win-win, a good situation? How can I take something bad and turn it into a benefit? So, you know, I told Tony, obviously I'm taking it down and all that. But then I said, hey, Tony, what do you think about taking that your real course, the one you actually produced, which is actually like about 4 times as long, super high quality. Like, I looked at Tony's course and I was blown away. I told him too, I was like, man, your course is so much better. Like, you deliver it so well, you sound great, it's so well edited, it flows perfectly. It's really good stuff. Like, he's a really good teacher. And I said, what if we did that? What if we took your course and we replaced the copy of your course with the real thing, and we offered that to everyone, and I published your course and I paid you. So I'll give you the commission that the original author who'd copied the course was supposed to get. I'll give you that full commission, and then I'll give you royalties on whatever else that we sell when we sell this course in the future. And then I'll have a better course. My customers will have something better. They'll actually get more than what they paid for, because they paid for a course that was much shorter, that wasn't of as high quality. But here's the original course from the author, about 4 times as long, about 7 hours more of content, and they're going to get that for nothing. And then on Tony's side, he's going to get royalties, some money just immediately from his course, and he'll get a future ongoing relationship. So I thought, okay, and plus, you know, we could be good business partners. Maybe he produces more courses, or we promote more of his courses and whatnot. And so, you know, he said that he would think about it. We'd have a meeting, and you know what it turned out, we had a couple of meetings and discussed it, and we came to an agreement, and we agreed to it. So crazy story here. I mean, this is just nuts, bizarro land, but it turned out good, right? So, you know, so ultimately what's going to happen now is that I'm going to be replacing the copy of Tony's course with the actual real course, which, like I said, is so much better, and it's longer, and it's, you know, and I have to say something about the author too, of the original course, or of the copy of the course. You know, I'm not angry at him. Like this is something I want to just talk about a little bit too. Is just like, I mean, I made mistakes, right? I will take 100% full responsibility for this, because I should have prevented this from happening. And I'm the publisher. Ultimately, whether I feel like I could have done something or not, I am the one who put this out. This is my business. This is my thing. If anyone's going to bear the responsibility, I am, right? But you know, the original author, and I'm not using his name because he turned out to, I believe he's really apologetic for his mistake. I really believe that he's truly, sincerely sorry, and he's made amends for it. But you know, he made a mistake, right? I made a mistake. He made a mistake. A lot of people had to make mistakes here for this to happen, but mistakes happen, right? And you know, the reason why I'm doing this video, some of you might be like, oh man, John, why are you doing this video? Like, well, like don't talk about this. This is bad for your business, man. But I don't believe that. I believe that, first of all, I believe in transparency. I live my life in public, especially the business stuff that I do, for a reason, and it's because I don't want to hide, because I want to share the successes, the victories, but also the failures with you guys, because I have failures. I make mistakes. I am not a perfect human being, okay? I am on my path. I am on my way to improve myself as much as possible, but I still make mistakes, and I make big ones. This was a big one, but I learned from them, right? So that's the first thing is I'm transparent. And I recognize, again, I'm not going to say his name, but the author of the course that did the copying, I mean, it was wrong what he did, okay? It was super wrong, okay? It was shocking to me that anyone would do that. but it's a mistake. People make mistakes. And so I'm not hating him. And I hope you don't hate him either, right? Honestly, like, I hope you can forgive him. I've forgiven him because there's just too much. Life is too short for hate. Life is too short to hold grudges. And you know what? And I'm sure I know that he's sorry and he's sad for what he did and he regrets it and it was a mistake. But hopefully he's learned from it. And I certainly learned from the mistakes that I made in this situation. But I was able to turn it into good, right? And that's the thing is, like, so we can learn from our mistakes, or we can let them take us down. And I choose to make the positive. I choose to see the positive in things and to actually make them into positive. I mean, to turn, I was telling my business partner, I was telling Josh, we turn shit into shiitake mushrooms, right? It's like, that's awesome. Like, we turned something that was a horribly bad situation into something good. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because, like I said, I'm transparent. I want you to be able to trust me. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not hiding shit from you. Like, I think you got to see this stuff, because this is the stuff that, and you know, I had a choice that night. I had a choice when I got that email. I could have been devastated. I mean, I could have been like, man, this is going to cost me like $30,000, $40,000, maybe more than that. Who knows, right? I mean, that's a big bill. But I said, you know what? This is an opportunity here. And even if it does, so what? So what? So what if it costs me a bunch of money? So what, right? You know, I made the mistake. I'll learn from it. But life goes on. I'll move on. I don't have to, you know, shut down shop and hang my head in shame. Like, it's a mistake. So that's where we're at with it. I thought I would share the story with you because it's a bit of a crazy story. I mean, I can't believe that this happened. I mean, I was so shocked that the course was actually copied. Like, I just could not believe that someone would do that. It just shocked the hell out of me. But it did. It turned out to be, you know, in this bizarro world, like, just the weirdest thing that I never would have expected that. But like I said, it's turned around now. And I think it'll honestly be a benefit for everyone. And you know, I'll kind of outline this. Like, for me, I learned a lot, okay, from this mistake, and I'm not going to make the mistake again, obviously. So that's a huge benefit for me. I got to have a relationship and meet a really cool guy, Tony, who now I get to have a business partnership with on his course. I probably don't have to process as many refunds. I'm going to leave it up to the purchasers. I'm going to tell them this story. I mean, if you may be watching the story, you may have purchased the course, and here you go. But give it up to them, and I'm going to give them a special bonus and whatnot to, you know, as an apology for dealing with, or, you know, or as a thank you more than an apology for dealing with this whole situation and being patient. So that's a benefit for me. I think Tony now, you know, he instead of just having his course ripped off, he's going to get paid for it, right? And he's going to have an opportunity to sell his courses on the Simple Programmer platform. If had this not happened, I would have never met Tony, and we never would have had this business relationship. And for the customers of my course, I think they're going to get something better, right? I think they're going to get a more valuable course from the original author that's, like I said, about 4 times as long, about 7 hours more of content, and I've given them a little bit of a bonus that I think will be worth it to them as well. So they're actually going to get more than what they had originally paid for. So moral of the story, right, is just this. It's like, you know, one, people make mistakes, honestly, you know, from myself to the author of the course who copied the course, you know, and it just happened, right? But don't hide the mistakes. Don't run from them. Like, learn from them, acknowledge them, and move on. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay, right? So that's lesson 1. Number 2 is, so many things that look bad on the surface. If you just stop for one moment, right, when the shit hits the fan, and you say, look, how can I turn the situation around? Is there something good that can come of this? How can I view this? And sometimes the only good thing that comes out of a situation is that you learn something, or that you become stronger, or you build your character, but that's still a good thing. In fact, that might be the most valuable thing in many cases that you get out of it. But a lot of times, if you're willing to take that moment, you're willing to think about, how can I turn this around? You can turn shit into shiitake. You could turn what is a bad situation into something great. And honestly, in this situation, it turned out great. At least, I mean, it still hasn't totally rolled out, but I think it has. I'm happy with the situation, right? And so, and the third thing I would say is, like, you know, I could be really pissed off. I almost slipped and said his name, but I'm not even going to say his name, right? Because I could be really pissed off at the author who I'd hired to do this course. And I could, you know, there's that quote. I love that quote. It's like, you know, about drinking poison to kill your enemies, like, or to harm your enemies, like drinking poison yourself. That's what bitterness is, right? And so I could be bitter. I could be upset. I could be like, oh, I'm never talking to this guy again. I can't believe that someone would do that, and be all angry. And I would carry that chip around on my shoulder. It would harm me. It wouldn't harm him. I mean, maybe it would harm him some, but he's already feeling the pain of what he did, right? I made mistakes. He made mistakes. We all make mistakes. People make mistakes. As long as someone's apologetic, but even if they're not, right? Even if he was totally unapologetic, it would do me no good to be angry at him and bitter at him. I just got to move on. It's just, just acknowledge that. So anyway, I hope that's beneficial to you. And like I said, I thought this was just too good of a story not to share. And I'm going to share these stories. I'm going to be transparent. I mean, maybe this will hurt me. Maybe this will cost me business. Maybe some of you will be like, man, this John guy, screw that. Like, I can't believe he did that. I can't believe he's such a ripoff. But you know what? This is the truth. This is what happens, and I'll stand by it. So there you go. Hopefully you like that. If you did, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button and you get to hear all the crazy stories that happen. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that always happens in my life. But hey, I'm gonna turn shit into shiitake as much as I can. All right, I'll talk to you next time. Take care.